You are entering a dimension of sound. You carefully come in through the threshold with wonder, yet skepticism. You see the faint shape of an outline of a robot arm petting a cat. You faintly hear the haunting sounds of a man playing a tambourine. The sound augments into two men playing with a soundboard. You're listening to Canary Cry News Talk. Stay a while and listen. And now, where Nephilim news meets biblical views, you'll find broken memes and shattered dreams. Give it up for Basil and Gons.
You're listening to Canary Cry News Talk. Today is April 1st, 2020, episode 184, and this week, it's gonna be biblical. And I am your essential employee, Basil.
And this is Gons, and Basil's coming a little bit less clear for the live stream, but if you guys are listening on podcasts, you won't hear a difference. So what's up, everybody?
Yeah, internet's been tough. Internet's been tough today. Don't have a great connection, but we do bust out all the podcast magic over on the podcast feed. Make sure to search your podcast player for Canary Cry News Talk, Canary Cry Radio, and all those types of fun things. Saying a big shout out to everybody who is watching live over on the Face Like the Sun YouTube channel, Canary Cry Radio YouTube channel, my boys and girls over at Twitch, what's up? Facebook, right? We're on Facebook too. We're all over the place today. And wherever you are, however you tune in, we're all locked indoors together. So we're so happy that you guys are here to hang out with us. We've got a great episode for you this day. Man, we're doing so good at these regular live streams, Gons.
We're going to hit 200 episodes of Canary Cry News Talk very quickly here if we keep up this pace. So that's a lot better than Canary Cry Radio, which has been stalling a little bit. But it's okay. We'll get there.
That's right. That's okay. We don't gotta bring up our flaws, Gons. This is where we get to tell everybody how awesome we are. But we are here. We're going to keep doing it Monday, Wednesday, Friday for the foreseeable future. And you guys logging in, watching live, just makes us feel all warm and fuzzy inside. Again, we're trying to mix it up. You know, there's a lot of COVID-19 stuff to talk about all the time. So we're going to be making sure that we keep you updated on any new things, but we're gonna, start mixing in some other stuff. Because here's the thing: we all know whatever your thoughts about the coronavirus situation is, we don't want to get distracted and not pay attention to other stuff. That's what they want. They want you focused on the left hand while they do some fancy footwork with the right hand. And so we're going to keep an eye on everything for you guys. Gons, anything else to say before we jump in?
Other than me trying to communicate with my daughter and trying to feed her while the live stream starts, start podcasting. Yeah, other than feeding my family or trying to as we live stream, no, nothing else going on. Are you ready for a Flippy update?
I'm ready for a Flippy update.
Flippy update.
Do you want fries with that?
All right, now here's the thing, folks. Flippy, for those who don't know, is our colloquial name for an adorable disembodied robot arm who represents represents Skynet, who is, taking our jobs, enslaving our children, and flirting with our spouses. All three of those things are true, by the way. And we take this opportunity to keep everybody updated on the impending robot takeover. Now, here's the thing. Flippy is our first love, right? He's the first robot arm who went to work in restaurants, flipping burgers, making fried foods, really inspiring us to, keep an eye on this sort of thing. Since then, we've tracked the robot takeover of our economy and our lives. Flippy recently being the gateway into putting facial recognition on the front doors of establishments to let you in, taking your temperature, making sure you don't have coronavirus. But here's the thing, Gon. Somebody is stepping on Flippy's turf.
Yeah. You want to tell them about it, or you want me to show them, or what do you want me to do?
I will. I just wanted you to be shocked and offended that somebody is taking over. So I will occasionally do Google searches for Flippy, and once in a while, I'll start getting a lot of Flippy searches that are not Flippy, my favorite robot arm, but in fact, Flippy the tablet pillow. Dun dun dun. It's not a robot. It's tablet pillow. But I don't know, man. If I was Flippy the tablet pillow, I would not want to be stepping on Flippy's turf. Flippy can flip you. He can deep fry you. And so I'm going to be keeping an eye out. I don't know. It's weird. I kind of take Flippy's side on this thing. This tablet pillow does not deserve the name Flippy. And just so anybody knows, Flippy the tablet pillow is a pillow that you can put a tablet on. And it's only $29.98. 5 have been sold in the last 20 hours. And I don't know, not the most exciting Flippy update, but no. I just figured, people need to keep an eye out because we expect the war between robots and humans. What we don't expect is the war between robots and pillows. It might be a war fought in the patent courts, but either way, we got to keep an eye out.
He's your first love, so I guess it doesn't affect me as bad, but at the same time, I can see why they called it Flippy, because you flip the pillow and you have 3 different angles to use the pillow. Wow. So yeah, there you go.
What a new idea. All right, Flippy and I might have to team up to take out Bruce, the inventor of the Flippy pillow. And no, that's not a threat. I'm just saying, I'll see you in court, Bruce.
COVID. Are you sick of hearing about COVID yet?
No, it's exciting. They've done a good job of keeping the stories rolling and the updates. Each one is just more exciting than the last.
Yeah.
Just hearing about how all my freedoms are getting taken away, and how my demise is on the horizon.
Yeah, people are upset that the last episode we went live that we didn't, sound the alarm more. But I feel like we've been sounding the alarm for so long that we're kind of like, what do you do at this point? But anyway, WashingtonExaminer.com, Rhode Island National Guard going door to door to find New Yorkers fleeing coronavirus. Of course, this story was around the last couple of days, a big deal. Rhode Island has started to deploy its National Guard to go door to door to find New Yorkers and make sure they stay quarantined for 14 days after fleeing their home state. National Guard was deployed in the state on Saturday to enforce the quarantine order for travelers from New York in addition to Rhode Island closing non-essential businesses. Democratic Governor Gina Raimondo issued an order Friday for Rhode Island State Police to pull over vehicles with New York license plates and to make sure anyone from the state follows the quarantine. Quote, right now we have a pinpointed risk, the Rhode Island Democrat said. Quote, that risk is called New York City. I know it's unusual. I know it's extreme. And I know some people disagree with it. If you want to seek refuge in Rhode Island, you must be quarantined. It says Raimondo was forced to modify her executive order late Saturday to include travelers from all states after Democratic New York Governor Andrew Cuomo threatened to sue her for unconstitutional discrimination. I mean, that's what it is around here. I mean, we're at that point where they're just freely taking away the freedoms of people, and a lot of people are just kind of like, of course we have to curve the tail or whatever the whole thing was. I've not been looking at it.
Tail, people.
Curve the tail. Whatever, dampen the curve, whatever it was, right, that they're trying to do. It's one of those issues where it's amazing the power grab going on here. whether it be, obviously there's an actual virus out there, but in terms of the reaction to it, all the reliance on computer models to have this extreme level of panic. I don't know, Basil. It's pretty sad to see. But again, at this point, we've been saying like, hey, this could go down, especially in this country, for a while. So as it's happening, it's like, yeah,
I tried to tell you, but nobody wanted to listen.
That's right.
That's what it is.
Yeah. The big thing with this, first of all, when they were first activating National Guard all over the country, of course, people like us, smart people like our listeners and others who pay attention to this sort of thing, deploying the National Guard to interact with American people is already a red flag. And of course, they all said, no, they're just, medical units to help out the hospitals. And we're going to set up some other hospitals. They're just here to help. And of course, nobody bought it. And this door-to-door thing, look, I get it. You have illegal aliens coming from New York into Rhode Island. They're not residents of Rhode Island. They're escaping New York to get out to the fresh, crisp countryside of Rhode Island. And, they're just trying to stay safe. But the whole door-to-door aspect of this is the most terrifying part of it. Okay, because this is how it starts, just like everything else we're dealing with. It starts out innocuous, like, oh no, the National Guard, they're just going to help the hospitals and, stuff like that, keep things moving. But the very act of giving the National Guard orders to go door to door for any reason is extremely concerning, especially when their job is to go door to door and find people who aren't supposed to be there. People now being a contraband that needs to be regulated. And of course, the big fear that comes to mind here for all sorts of things is, kind of who did that? The gold reclamation, where going door to door and taking people's gold. Of course, there's some Second Amendment issues here. People, being afraid of National Guard coming door to door, disarming citizens. Anything where the National Guard is going door to door is terrifying. And, honestly, this is no small development. Even the door-to-door looking for people from New York, people hiding out. I mean, you got to think, in a situation, this is not much different than, let me take that back. It's very different than, Anne Frank hiding away in an attic. But, you could imagine some New Yorkers who are terrified about being in New York, which is seriously, let's just take what we're being told by the media, which is basically an infestation of coronavirus, and just being in New York is like the most dangerous thing you can do right now.
Have you seen those Nephilim rats? Those giant Nephilim rats in New York? Those things, if they were carrying a virus, man, that's like, we're starting to talk about a pretty crazy movie scene over there. They should just...
Sure.
Go ahead.
You want to escape the rats for sure, but you also want to escape, even if people are just afraid of being sick in New York, leaving to go to another safer place and then being rounded up by the National Guard.
Yeah.
Or, I don't know if they're actually sending people back, but they are enforcing New Yorkers to stay quarantined in Rhode Island. I'm not quite sure, but still, anyways, this National Guard thing going door to door is really the most concerning development in at least a couple days. I guess I can't quite say in a while.
It keeps progressing, and it keeps getting more intense. Military buddies of mine are telling me that there has been like an order for like at least a 30-day just a standby, and everyone's kind of on standby. So that's right. That's kind of where we're at, and in terms of whatever officialdom in the military communications. So it'll be interesting to see.
I could see this I could see this starting to happen in states surrounding California specifically. I mean, the past couple of years, Californians have been trying to escape California for a lot of reasons, including, the just insanely high prices of living. But, as we see California cities become more impacted and California locked down even more, I could see people escaping, to Arizona, Nevada, Washington, all those places. I would be a little bit concerned if I was, not Washington, Oregon, borders California. I would be a little bit concerned if I was in one of those states as well. I mean, it's the restriction of movement within the United States, which is unprecedented and something that people should be very worried about if you're not. I mean, there's a lot of things to be worried about today. So if you don't choose to be worried about that, that's okay. It's okay to pick and choose your battles.
Yeah.
But yeah, there you go. Those are my thoughts, Gons. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit.
They're probably keeping the gas prices high so that if you're going to flee, it's going to cost a lot to the gas stations.
Yeah, it's interesting. I've been seeing gas prices varying wildly throughout the country. So I've saw some people who are paying less than $1 for gas.
I know.
Where I am, it's about the same. Nothing's really changed. And speaking of Cuomo, just to bring it up, not a big deal. Don't have to make it a big deal. But whatever shirt he was wearing for his last update, let's just say everybody knows Cuomo has nipple rings now. Okay, moving on. You ready for the next one?
Well, this is still under the same COVID update, correct?
Yeah. Yeah, but it's a new article.
Yeah.
You ready for the next article?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to read this from dailymail.co.uk, but this is everywhere.
Daily Mail.
USS Theodore... What? Oh,
I have the
you
CNN.
have a CNN article.
Yeah.
Where's that CNN one?
It should be in there.
Hold on. I'm going to get it.
Okay.
No, it's not in there, but I'll find it. CNN. There you are. Oh gosh, my virtual reality hands are floating away from me.
You're starting to glitch too.
They are. CNN.com. Sailors from aircraft carrier hit by coronavirus outbreak to quarantine in Guam hotels. Some of the sailors from the USS Theodore Roosevelt will be quarantined in hotel rooms in Guam as the number of coronavirus cases aboard the aircraft carrier approaches 100. A deteriorating situation that led the ship's commanding officer to issue a stark warning to top Navy leadership about the need to get sailors off the ship. Get those sailors off the ship. Acting Secretary of the Navy Thomas Modly. Interesting. Acting Secretary of the Navy. I got to look into that. I wonder if there's another secretary, but...
Yeah, what happened? Did he go down?
Modly has taken over.
Yeah. Is this the infiltration?
Acting Secretary of the Navy Thomas Modly said Wednesday that 93 sailors from the ship have tested positive for the virus to date, representing more than 10% of all cases across the United States military. A senior defense official told CNN that the Navy expected the number of cases to rise as more test results come in. No kidding. That's what happens when you test. You get higher numbers.
Yep.
Modly said that 1,273 of the ship's roughly 4,800 crew members have been tested for the virus so far, and the Navy was still waiting the results of some of those tests. He said about 1,000 sailors have been evacuated from the ship and moved ashore to Guam, where the ship is currently in port. Quote, "We already have nearly 1,000 personnel off the ship right now, and in the next couple days, we expect to have 2,700 of them off the ship," Modly told reporters at the Pentagon. The chief of naval operations, Admiral Mike Gilday, said that the ship could not be evacuated in its entirety due to the need to continue to perform essential tasks, such as the operations of the aircraft carrier's nuclear reactor. Oh yeah, please keep some people around for that. He said that about 1,000 sailors would have to remain on the ship to perform about 500 more than was proposed by the ship's commanding officer, Captain Brett Crozier, in a recent memo. Quote, "This ship has weapons on it. It has munitions on it. Gasp. It has expensive aircraft. It has a nuclear power plant. It requires a certain amount of people on that ship to maintain the safety and security of the ship, Maudley said. The outbreak of the ship is escalating rapidly. Last week, the Pentagon confirmed 3 sailors on the Roosevelt had tested positive, and that number had risen to 25 2 days later. That number rose to at least 70 on Tuesday and nearly 100 on Wednesday. On Monday, a U.S. defense official told CNN that a second U.S. aircraft carrier, the USS Ronald Reagan, is also facing a, quote, handful of positive cases, etc., etc. The article goes on talking about how the coronavirus continues to spread in confined spaces, and that's just what it's like. A Diamond what was it? The Diamond Princess cruise ship all over again, except for there's a nuclear reactor involved.
Yeah, well, there's a couple points. One is that something you mentioned prior to us recording is that military guys usually get a lot of shots and a lot of stuff injected into them that are supposed to be like helping them with their virus immunity, who knows what they're being injected with now, but
it's well known that, the military, when you get in, you're given just so many shots, so many vaccines and all sorts of stuff. And, a lot of those are fairly experimental. It's known that, DARPA and a lot of those organizations try out a lot of different things on soldiers. Soldiers are not necessarily privy to what they're getting stuck with once they join. I'm assuming sailors have to go through the same stuff. And it's interesting. Even after all that, they did not. It was not enough to protect them from the coronavirus.
Well, the other thing is, the other thing that's interesting is that this is technically military. The opportunity right now is perfect to unleash some kind of, even if it is a coronavirus, a different kind of strain, whatever it is, and use it as a type of bioweapon. Not saying anything happened, but you mentioned how there was that acting Secretary of the Navy, Thomas Maudley. I guess it's not part of the exact crew there, but you never know. You never know what kind of stuff can be going on to unleash stuff, especially to people in the military. Because what have we seen? We've seen all the celebrities and politicians get it, and of course, when you start getting into the military, then it's just more people, more ways to stir fear. And so anyway, I kind of think that it's bizarre that it would hit a Navy ship like this hard. So I just try
as Madonna said, coronavirus is the great equalizer. Thanks, Madonna.
No more pasta, Madonna.
What was I going to say? Yeah. Oh, gosh.
She said it.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's all I got on that. I just want to say, again, what's up to all of our live viewers. I do want to do this. I want to compel as many people as possible, if you want to do us a favor, to head to twitch.tv/Canary Cry Radio. Because we are currently trying to build our reputation on Twitch, and we are so close to hitting affiliate, which will open up a lot more fun possibilities over there on Twitch. So if you have a Twitch account, or you are willing to do us a little favor, there's 770 of you watching live right now. And if any of you guys could do me a big favor and head over to twitch.tv/Canary Cry Radio. If you don't have an account, just make an account real quick, no big deal, and follow and watch this stream from Twitch. That would help us out a lot. Just thought I'd be frank and let everybody know we're trying to hit affiliateship on Twitch, because that gives us access to a bunch more fun stuff as Twitch broadcasters. So if you please do that, that would be great. That'll help us hit affiliate today, and we can continue doing super fun stuff. So if you that would be a personal favor, and I appreciate that so much. Thank you very much. CM5557 says, now you owe me a favor. Okay, you got me, CM. I owe you a favor. Yep. Also, just a quick plug, if you are not there yet, you got to head over to canarycry.community. Okay, we've had a Canary Cry community over on Facebook for quite a while, and that's very fun. We got a couple thousand people over there, but we were compelled to create a platform, a social media-esque experience, and a place for Canarians, listeners like yourselves, to get together, know each other, meet each other. Some people are meeting in person, people are praying for each other, and it's a safe place to explore all the stuff that we explore now outside of the reptilian clutches of Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook. So I recommend everybody head over to canarycry.community and sign up. I guarantee you will not regret it. It's a great place to be and meet other people just like you. Nobody's triggered. Everybody's having a good time. Getting to know each other, pray for each other, and discuss these things in a little bit safer of an environment than Facebook. I don't want anybody else going to Facebook jail there. So thank you very much. That's canarycry.community. All right, on to the next one, Gons.
Son of a bee sting.
That's right. World Israel News. Do you want to take this one, or we didn't mark who's bringing these?
Yeah, I'll do it. Netflix Messiah canceled after Muslims complain. And we know about the Netflix series Messiah. Did you catch any of that, Basil?
I tried. I watched two or three episodes, and it was okay. It was pretty good.
Okay, so you
fine.
You actually got through a couple episodes. I think I watched the first 2 minutes, and I had to do something. I got distracted.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's my in-depth research of the show. But I was getting a lot of messages from people that had watched the show and a couple breakdowns and stuff in email. So appreciate that. But it says here, Netflix canceled its Messiah series on March 26th after backlash from activists suggesting the show was sending anti-Islam subtextual messages, reported Deadline. In Messiah, CIA agent Ava Geller investigates Al-Masih, the Middle Eastern preacher whose followers claim he is the second coming. According to the report, the popular series faced backlash because Al-Masih subtextually refers to Al-Masih ad-Dajjal. I'm probably butchering all that. An antichrist demonic figure in Islamic eschatology whose name translates to the false messiah, liar, and deceiver. Will Travel, who played Dr. Jack Quaid in Messiah, expressed his disappointment on Instagram. Quote, "It's a very sad day today," he wrote on Instagram. "I have just received news from Netflix that there will be no season 2 of Messiah. I wanted to say thank you to all the fans. Thank you for your support and love. I wish things were different." Of course, the actor perspective is going to be a little bit more, sentimental than what's going on here. But one more quote here. The story...
Yeah, that's his job.
Yeah. Despite much of the series being filmed in Jordan, the kingdom's Royal Film Commission asked Netflix to ban the series and being streamed in its country prior to its debut in January 2018. Quote, "The story is purely fictional and so are the characters, yet the RFC deems that the content of the series could be largely perceived or interpreted as infringing on the sanctity of religion," an RFC statement said at the time. So, it was already stepping on toes in Jordan where it was filmed.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess, people are real serious about their religion. I get that. We all are, obviously. But in this sense, it's interesting how they acted, they moved based on the influence of a particular religious group.
Yeah, well, it's interesting. And of course, Christians have been complaining about this particular situation for a while because, Christians complain about a lot of TV.
Yeah.
And I've never heard of a show getting taken down because Christians didn't didn't want it. They are taking particular concern once the Muslims start complaining. And, I kind of get it. I don't, American companies like Netflix are used to Christians complaining about TV. When Sabrina the Teenage Witch came out, specifically the most recent one, and it's just
straight up
most incredible representation of Satanism.
Yeah. Turns out her dad was Satan. I think that was the plot.
Yes,
the plot twist.
But no. it's you whiny Christians. You don't get to take anything down. But yes, you make a show about the Muslim Antichrist, which is, I believe, what the comparison would be, is that this guy is the Antichrist to Muslims, and they didn't like that very much. So there you go. Got it. They actually canceled it, which is very interesting.
Yeah.
And of course, there were some Christians who were complaining about it as well. So I don't know. I guess we could jump in there.
Sure.
Take some credit.
Sure. Yeah.
It's got to be biblical.
It is.
Biblical.
What do you want to do? This next one?
What
is this?
Oh, yeah. Let's do that one. The Washington Examiner, because it's a little bit more of an article. The other one's it's an article, but it's less good. Okay. Yeah.
I'm going to jump in. This is a cold read for me, everybody. So this is the Washington Examiner headline poll. 29% see biblical last days. 44% say virus is God's wake-up call. Ooh, interesting. Nearly half of the country believes that the sweeping and deadly coronavirus is a wake-up call from God. And 1/3 see it as, quote, the last days predicted in the Bible, according to a new national survey. I am very questionable about this. I don't know if 44% of the country says this is a wake-up call from God. I have a hard time believing that. But the key finding in the Joshua Funds survey, provided exclusively to secrets, is a feeling in the country that people need to embrace faith and return to religion. Some 44% said the virus crisis is a wake-up call for us to turn back to faith in God and signs of coming judgment, said the Joshua Fund, a charitable organization created to mobilize Christians to, quote, bless Israel and her neighbors in the name of Jesus. Joel C. Rosenberg, a best-selling author who created the fund with his wife Lynn Rosenberg, told us Americans in near full lockdown are anxious, and understandably so, yet millions are turning to God, the Bible, and Christian sermons for answers, some of them for the first time. That may be the most important silver lining in this crisis so far. What does the Bible teach us? Teach about pestilence, plagues, and global pandemics? So many are asking that at the Joshua Fund, and I have published a fact sheet for pastors, ministry leaders, lay people, and the media. Feel free to quote and share. That was a tweet from Joel C. Rosenberg. In the poll conducted by the nationally recognized McLaughlin and Associates, 1/3 of respondents said they fear the end really is near. The Joshua Fund said that 29% said they believe that the crisis indicates that we, quote, are living in what the Bible calls the last days. Those who agreed with last days predictions, 30% were Jewish Americans, 30% were Democrats, 39% were Republicans, 40% were African Americans, 50% of Hispanics. Oh, that's of. 30% of Jewish Americans, 30% of Democrats, 39% of Republicans, 40% of African Americans, 50% of Hispanics. The survey also noted that 22% of self-identified non-Christian respondents and 40% of Christians said the crisis had resulted in more interest in God and spiritual matters. Rosenberg, best known for writing about worst-case scenarios and pandemics, said, quote, the results are clear. This unprecedented global crisis is causing Americans to start reading the Bible and listen to Bible teaching and Christian sermons online, even though they usually don't. Search for online teaching on Bible prophecy and God's future for mankind, and or engage in more spiritual conversations with family and friends. You know, I'm always a little bit skeptical about polls like this. I think 44% of the country thinking that this is a wake-up call from God seems a little high, considering the zeitgeist, I'd say.
According to the models, the simulation models that the Joshua
yes, these
Fund
are all
has.
Computer models.
Less technical than what the technocrats got going. So maybe their algos are still behind on the accuracy of how large the spread is. But I mean, still.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's just take it at face value. Okay. What does it mean if we take this at face value?
Well, that people are, people are at home and they got nothing better to do. but also people are losing jobs. I mean, that economic effects are real. people are losing jobs, businesses are closing, my own father's put in furlough and stuff like that. So there's all kinds of stuff going on there where, people's livelihoods are disrupted. So obviously there's a sense of doom and gloom. And when it's worldwide like this, perceived worldwide, because it feels like, and the politicians and Trump and all that, they all keep talking about how this is a war, and all the actions that have been taking place militarily and everything else has been very much war-like. So in that sense, people, I think, tend to look for, pastors and sermons and stuff like that had to do with these types of more eschatological or end times-ish scenarios, because that's the closest thing, or maybe that's the first thing people that especially grew up in a Christian nation, it's not so much that anymore, but people that grew up in maybe faith-based, communities and stuff like that, they'll turn to that first because that's where they most relate to, hey, there's a foundation here of calamity and tragedy and pestilence and judgment. And, it's been framed in so many different ways, but I don't know. That would be a good thing, I guess, that more people would go there, but it's also, to me, even if those numbers are correct, as soon as things go back to quote unquote normal, like more normal in terms of, obviously things are going to never be the same with technology and how we're surveilled and everything else. But the perceived normal, when we go back, the same people are probably just going to go back to, watching sports or whatever was their main pastime.
Yeah, well, who knows? I mean, I think this may be here's one perspective. You tell me what you think. Okay. There's a lot of people, especially in our little genre here, our fringy little genre. There's a lot of seed planting that's been going on for a while. You plant seeds, you kind of mention, some conspiracy theory or something you disagree that the government's doing. And you talk about the connections to biblical prophecy, something like that. And for the most part, people think you're crazy and they don't want to be your friend anymore and yada, 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 right? Especially because you're talking about Jesus. Very unpopular to do. But when something like this happens, and as we all know, I mean, we're watching mainstream folks, general, sheeple types are starting to wake up. I mean, seeing the things that are going on in the world and starting to wake up a little bit. And they're just starting to remember, oh, my crazy friend with the big googly eyes who has that podcast mentioned something about this. Maybe I should look. What we're seeing is the sprouting of a lot of seeds that people have been planting. So I think that's encouragement for you seed planters out there. That all the shame and rejection for being a crazy Christian and questioner of the official story. I think those seeds are starting to sprout, and that may be one explanation for such high numbers that we're seeing. I also kind of question the heuristics that were used for this poll, but you know what? I think it's an interesting opportunity to see how those, like I said, seeds are sprouting. Well, so it's encouraging, whether or not the numbers are exact or not. I think we're in a time where the world is so upside down that people have no option but to start questioning the official story.
Yeah, that's true. Although...
And the official story on Jesus, being so uncool. Now they are opened up to exploring all those things that they've reluctantly had to listen to their friends chat on about.
Yeah, that's true. Although, I haven't really seen a huge uptick in numbers on my channel or anything. Maybe other people in the community have. But I know that one thing that's really popped off in the last 2 weeks is QAnon. And
crazy, right? I know. Suddenly, that's all over the place.
I'm looking at the Google Trends here on the screen. Basically, starting at the beginning of March, or a week or two into March, it just spiked like crazy and went nuts. So that, and it's all centered around Wyoming. So what's going on in Wyoming over there? It's been the hot spot for QAnon. But I think the other part of this, going back to the story of that you were just talking about, it's interesting because I think some of the prophecy teachings and stuff that are being most presented in that regard, that's kind of funneled too. And I feel like a lot of that is probably, not just controlled opposition, but like people that are allowed to be the representatives of those topics through any, some kind of publisher establishment in America, stuff like that. Because, there's like a pop view of prophecy that people are into, and they get an opportunity for distribution that your local Bible church, preacher, teacher on Revelation or something like that, they're not going to get the same kind of attention or I guess, distribution, marketing, whatever it is. So I don't know. It's something to consider too, and just keep your eyes peeled because your friends and family, they might be like, it's better than nothing, I would say. They're all of a sudden they're getting into a rapture study or whatever it is. It's better than nothing, but at the same time, stay vigilant about what they're actually consuming. Because I've seen too many people in all stripes of the rapture position. For example, take it to the extreme of like anxiety. And that's not really the point either, to have a Bible study and to understand any kind of eschatology. So, I guess just keep watch, keep
your head on a swivel.
Yeah, keep your googly eyes on a swivel, because you never know what people are going to be coming after you. Right.
We got a couple more googly eye questioners in the chat. It's okay. It's your first time. That's fine. You'll get used to it. Just remember, if you're scared of the googly eyes and you're wondering what evil lies beneath, I'm just a regular guy with a podcast who doesn't want to put my face everywhere. And if you're too distracted by the googly eyes to listen to the message, then that's on you, baby, not me. Okay, moving on. Let's see. I'm looking at the chat, seeing if anybody's got questions. You have to go at 2, correct?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. All right. So we do have a little bit of a heart out today, folks. We're just doing an hour-long show, but thanks everybody for showing up. A lot of numbers today. I'm happy to see this. People are tuning in for the live. We're very excited. Remember, we've been doing this podcast for a long time, and our other podcasts for a long time. Gons and I have been podcasting for 8 years, way before podcasts were cool like they are now. But if you haven't done it yet, you can listen to this show, Canary Cry News Talk, also Canary Cry Radio. These are 2 great resources for people to kind of fill out their view of what's going on in the world, not just in geopolitics or coronavirus news, but also the whole world as through the views of biblical prophecy and things like that. So go to your podcast player, search out Canary Cry News Talk, Canary Cry Radio. Go ahead and subscribe, and make sure to subscribe to our YouTubes. Gons, the best YouTube channel, Face Like the Sun. Subscribe to that. Canary Cry Radio also has a YouTube channel. And as long as you're doing that, on your podcast player, search The Joyspiracy Theory. That's my other podcast where I interview not just fringe Christian authors and researchers and content creators and things like that, and talk to them about their lives and what God has done with their lives over the years, but also listeners to Canary Cry radio material. So it's a great opportunity to listen to me talk to listeners to the show, people just like you, and hear their life story, their struggles, the ups and downs, the roller coaster of life, as well as seeing what God has done in their lives and the impact that Jesus has had on the overarching story of their life. It's very encouraging. I recommend everybody go check that out. And it's non-COVID-19 related, so you're going to love it. It's called The Joyspiracy Theory.
Yep.
All right, Gons. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Just had to get a few plugs
That's all right. Let's do this.
Speaking of the beast system. Beast system.
Lee Ryan baffles, by the way, this is the sun.co.uk, our favorite reliable source. Lee Ryan baffles fans as he claims the devil controls governments and we will all be implanted with microchips. The 36-year-old star took to his Instagram page to share the bizarre conspiracy theory earlier this evening. The former Blue singer started out by slamming the new 5G mobile networks, which sick YouTube videos accused of causing coronavirus earlier this month. Then he shared that's a weird sentence. He then shared an image of a hand being implanted with a microchip and an X-ray showing the chip within the body, hinting that everyone will be forced to get the implant as a vaccine for the killer disease. Lee captioned the post, quote, "This is the mark of the beast, 666. This will be the next step of governments worldwide. Sorry to post this bleep, but it's true. I just want to spread the word so people know the truth of what's coming." And I like how the Sun summarizes this. The term 666 refers to the devil, with the former EastEnders actor suggesting that this is the next step in the New World Order conspiracy theory. But followers were confused, with one commenting, "Are you okay? Have you been hacked?" Another wrote, "Has your account been hacked or have you just lost the plot?" Yeah, interesting. Lost the plot, eh? A third snapped, "What a load of bleep. Spreading unverified rubbish and conspiracy theories is so dangerous, especially in the current climate. Give your head a wobble, you absolute salad." That was another insult thrown at him. But Lee has always been open about his controversial views, he even insisting that he has seen aliens in the past. I don't know. Sounds like someone that's...
Who is this guy? Is this some popular guy that I don't know about?
Apparently, yeah. He's a let's see, 36-year-old star. Lee
He's
Ryan.
A star.
He looks, I don't recognize him, but, well, there you go. I mean, so when Christians complain, we don't get TV shows canceled. We get put in the sun.co.uk as a crazy conspiracy theory.
The crazy bin.
Yeah, the crazy bin. That's what takes place for the Christians. They're just waiting, They're just waiting for the Christians to... It'll be that. That's, I think, the key to end this on the greatest downer note. We'll know that it's for sure a prophecy being fulfilled when every Christian around the world is forced to either worship something or die.
Oh, yeah.
It will kill.
That's when we'll know.
That's when we'll know.
No sooner, no later. Okay, well, that's good. Well, we got a couple minutes here, Gons. Again, I want to thank everybody for being here, watching live. This is great numbers today. Thanks for being here. We're going to be streaming live here on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And Fridays, we're going to be bringing some guests on, see what they got going on. Going to be exploring many topics. Are we revealing who our guest this Friday is, or are we waiting?
We're waiting. We're going to wait.
Okay, we're going to wait, but make sure to tune back in on Friday. We're going to be live streaming that all over the internet. Again, if you guys want to do me a big personal favor, head over to twitch.tv/Canary Cry Radio. We're trying to get our numbers up over there so we can hit affiliate and unlock all sorts of fun other features to our channel there. So we appreciate that very much. Go to twitch.tv/Canary Cry Radio. I'm going to be doing all sorts of fun stuff over there, including going through video games and exploring the elite messaging that is included in there. Also, if you haven't done it yet, you need to go to canarycry.community. It is our anti-Facebook social platform that we are gathering as many Canarians as possible. You can have all sorts of good conversations without triggering all your normie friends over on Facebook. Nobody's getting put in Facebook jail. It's a great community of over 1,200 Canarians now. There are conversations going on about coronavirus, facts before fiction, lockdown, but we also got all sorts of fun things like a prayer wall, people meeting each other, setting up meetings that apparently are happening on Zoom, things like that. Talking about 5.7 earthquakes. What else do we got here? Oh man, all sorts of stuff. We got a whole thread for all the nurses out there, so if you're a nurse and you need some info and some uplifting. That's there for you. We're tracking the FEMA rumors. Got some. There's the prayer wall. Anyways, all sorts of stuff there to converse with other listeners just like you. It's the place to be to not get put in Facebook jail and have everything you do online go on your permanent record. So head over to canarycry.community. Any other plugs for you, Gons?
No plugs, but I do want to take the opportunity to thank a couple of Face Like the Sun patrons because I have a few new ones. Just a quick shout out to Jilliana, Amy, Desiree, and Perla, Notchback, and Lisa. Lisa V. Wow.
Well, amazing. You got a lot of patrons over there.
Yeah, it's crazy. Sorry, Basil. No, but
that's okay.
It was a little influx here coming into the YouTube channel, so I really appreciate that. Thank you, everybody, all the people out there.
Good for you. Thank you, everybody, for supporting people like Gons and the work they do. And if you want to support this show, Canary Cry News Talk, you can head over to patreon.com/CCNT. It's a great place to support this show. We do not believe in running advertisements, and believe me, we have gotten a lot of requests for advertisements, especially lately. So we don't believe in selling your attention and your trust for our own personal gain, which happens to be a horrible business model. So if you find value in what we do, we request that people put value back in. We're only able to keep doing this show because of the value provided by our patrons. You can head to patreon.com/CCNT. There's a bunch of bonus episodes over there, and all sorts of fun rewards. And you get to make Gons and I feel all warm and fuzzy and feed Gons' children. It's very important. Again, that's patreon.com/CCNT. And I want to thank first Ebony. We got Ebony coming in with a nice pledge, first of the month. Thank you very much, Ebony.
Thanks, Ebony.
And This Intangible Existence, thank you for increasing your pledge this month. You're the best.
All right. Coming in.
Okie dokie. Here's the thing, folks. Thanks for enjoying this. You still got a bunch of friends and loved ones out there who are exclusively getting their news from their Facebook wall or their mainstream media. And here's what you got to do. You got to walk right up to them, be all cool and nice, grab them by the cage and shake it.
This progress before it is too late.
I want to shake things up, stir up some controversy, rattle a few cages.
Hey, stop that!
You'll never silence me. I'm the last angry man, a crusader for the little guy.
Leave the bird alone.
Never. Rattle a few cages. Rattle a few cages.
He's a Satanist.
Right, rattle some cages out there, folks. Let them know that Canary Cry News Talk is the place to be. Grab an episode of Canary Cry News Talk that you've enjoyed over the years and just send it to somebody. Let them experience it for themselves. You can find that really anywhere. Just search Canary Cry News Talk, and that's the way to go. If you are unable to support the show financially, leave a rating and a review on iTunes or your podcast player, and just share it out with folks. That goes a very long way to convincing the iTunes robots that it's okay to share Canary Cry News Talk with new listeners. Okie dokie. I want to give a big ol' special thanks to all of the new Canary Cry community members. I'm going to see if I can pull up the new ones. They've been approved. Let's see. Shalom. Thank you for joining Canary Cry community. Also, MG Edward. Thank you. Harold the Herald. Thank you, Harold. Lil Blossom coming in hot. We got 77 Diane. Laura's Window. No One Known. Dave. I can't pronounce that last part. Vivid Sound. Wow, we got a lot of people coming in on canarycry.community. Let's do it more. Live for Viv. The Art of Truth. There we go. Those are all the new members.
Nice.
Welcome to the club, everybody. Again, that's canarycry.community, a great place to meet and talk with other people just like yourselves outside of the reptilian clutches of Facebook. Okay, I think that's it, Gonz. You good?
I'm good. I do want to wrap with Philippians 4:1. Therefore, my brethren, dearly beloved and longed for, my joy and crown, so stand fast in the Lord, my dearly beloved. So stand fast in the Lord, people. No, it's crazy out there.
Amen. Do it, folks. Thanks for listening to this episode of Canary Cry News Talk. Make sure to tune in this Friday. But until then, think outside the cage.
Canaries in a cage?